What's happening? The Infinity Buddha is coming to get you. Hey everybody, welcome to Track Feedback on Saturday. We're going to start off with a couple of new releases, and I just figured out something we can do in Discord that's not happening yet. That's going to be cool. And when the man himself arrives, Pivclit, we're going to sing happy birthday. Scott's here, Randy's here, Matt Schultz, Ben's here, and this is my jam for this week. I'm rebuilding this one from an old live set I used to do with the bleeps. Monitor feed is off. All right. Just give me like one little second just to change my windows, right? Okay. Before we go any farther, I just realized the new releases channel on Discord is getting filled up, which is great. And I also realized, hey, there's a ton of posts going back even a couple screens up that I don't want to miss. So check out what happened right here. We got a thread for a Randy Adams release. And that's the only thread. So what I want everybody to do when you post something in new releases, then what we're going to do is, just like in track feedback in the channels, click start a new thread. And then when you go to the new releases channel, you'll be able to see a bunch of releases with the Beatport links ready to grab and comments on that specific release. So we can all easily find out how many releases there are, what are the links, where to get them, where to buy them on Beatport so we can play them in a set and listen to them. And I think that'll make it a lot easier. Randy's here too. The bleeps, the sweeps, and the creeps. So let me just scan down real quick before I close Discord. Then we're going to look at some Beatport links, and then we're going to do track feedback. And we got a couple updates. We got a couple new tracks. What did Alex B add on here? Here come the bleeps. Okay, so Alex, we're going to review that house track, and then you put an update in on the the techno version. And Discord is so slow when I'm streaming. Sorry about that. Okay, good. That's it for Discord. Discord is closed. If you didn't get your link in, sorry. So for promo, first off, really happy to see the one I want to mention. No Mercy from Shepherds. We worked on these in track feedback, and you probably heard it a bunch. Hard freaking techno, distorted beats. I don't think we get a YouTube strike for this, so I can preview a little bit. The buzz, the rumble, and the 8 Neon remix. So if you're into this kind of techno, this is the kind of stuff where people who like it are really into it, and a lot of people don't know how to process this music, so they don't have to listen to it. But I'm digging it. So that's up on Thorium Records, No Mercy EP from our friend Shepherds with 8 Neon. Maybe I'll leave that open for the end. New one just popped up on Nomadism Records that I haven't grabbed yet, but our friend Juani Teano, aka Vincent, the Satao EP. And this is more like organic house, kind of on the deep house vibe, global beats, good listening. Check the drop. That's a nice vibe. I would love to play through the whole track and play through more. You know I always hate to cut off tracks, right? We've got Randy Adams just posted this up, Solar Crosswind, Randy Adams remix on Bebop Music. I haven't heard this. Have I heard this? Look who's here, Pivclit. All right. So we got Randy Adams coming up. I'm definitely going to grab this one, put it into a little set. Going for the climax. Yeah, Randy Adams has that deep, clicky kind of style. And surprise, surprise, a collaboration I was working on with my friend CJ, who's my physical neighbor in the neighborhood, just got a release date for next week. It's The Nature of Life. You heard this in track feedback with... Come on. We went through this a couple times, so it's coming out on Club Rapture out of New York, and I'm happy about that. We did this last year, and then it took a while to get published. And that's with the Alan Watts quotation about the nature of life and stuff. So those are our new releases, and for anybody who's watching, this group is all about helping you take original ideas, get them into a good sounding track that has interesting sound design, a cool climax in the structure, and a great mix, and then getting them ready for release by doing track feedback, where we make sure not only does it sound good to you in your studio, but it's going to sound good to everybody else on headphones, on sound systems, on streaming, or in the car, or wherever people play music. We want to make sure it's going to sound good, so when you do get it released, people like it and they buy it and play it and then tell you how they played it and then send you a video of them playing your track at a party with people going crazy. That's like my personal end goal, is to see videos of parties with tracks that we know that came through track feedback. That's like the best. Even if it's a phone video, I mean, if I have the original, I know what it sounds like. I just want to see the crowd being happy. So that's all cool. Those are the new releases. Please let me know, tag me, let me know when you have something coming out so I can help promote it. And thanks to everybody in the record label crew who started getting on the sharing and networking process. And of course, happy birthday to Piv Clit. Happy birthday to you. You're gonna be dead, but until tomorrow, put some bass in your head. One day closer. I don't know. I think it's funny. I mean, we're here for a certain period of time, and the clock is ticking, so what are we going to do? We better get shit done, right? Survival LP. Okay, I brought this out from Mindbender because it was so amazing, but we don't need intro music right now. So let's keep going, and forgive me if my sense of humor is a little dark. Alex B, update on the... Let's do the learning curve, louder kick. Let's just play this because we heard this on Wednesday. So let's just kind of like check how it sounds, and then we'll go into a deeper review on the house mix. And welcome to Track Feedback. I think that's going to be in the right place. Yeah, total freestyle birthday for you, right? Turn off my phone now. Bleeps are really good. Yeah, I think that's good. What you did with the kick drum being louder, definitely good. Got the EQ flat. All right, I think we're good on this one. If that's the only revision you did, then I think we're gonna move on. Yeah, I like this track. DJ Waters. Let's hear how it comes back in after the build. Matt Schultz, a little boxy on the kick, 300 hertz, maybe, yeah. I'm feeling the sub bass having a back and forth pulse with the kick. Ooh, 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 ooh. Morton, good, okay. Yeah, Alex, if you have any other questions about this track, let us know, but it's sounding, I mean, it sounded good before, and it's sounding together now. It sounds playable. So I hate to fast forward. I like to check the brakes. One more time on that. That's nice timing. The sweep came up and went through a little effect and then got out of the way. And I like to check the transitions because a lot of times the sweeps and the sounds at the transition can go up in frequency and hit that harshness at the 5,000 or 4,000 hertz. So if that's one little spot check you want to do, you can check that out. Let's see the ending. How do we get out of this thing? Yeah, man, I think you could put that up for mastering. Oh, you're hearing a little distortion on the kick? Are you sure? I had my broadcast feed jacked up at the beginning. I guess there might be a tiny little crunch of distortion on there, but to me it sounds good. Let's pause this and maybe we can come back to that and listen to some other beats and come back and just have like a little reference track moment. But now, Deep House. We have not heard this yet. D minor, new edits. Looking for a B flat in the key signature, okay. I'm not sure if there's going to be another drop of bass. Turn it up a little bit here. Okay, my system is glitching and I don't know why.
If I could just stay here tonight, I feel so safe here in your arms. Don't let go. My heart's racing, my hands are shaking.
Feels like the kick is missing the sub bottom, really. Like the bass line has a nice clear low end of the bass. Wait, let me go back to that. That crash is a little harsh. That was that kind of scrapey sound. I like the vocal presentation, placement. One of those claps earlier sounded a little loud. Are the claps on the left? Let me check in mono here. I like the claps when I go into mono. The claps get a little here. I think that if the claps are panned, I'm feeling off. I'm like over there. I feel like the clap should really be like here. I like the chord progression a lot, and the melody and the vibe and the atmosphere is like super cool. Okay, good. Kick is filtered coming in. Yeah, the bottom feels better here. That vocal's great. And is this like is this a new one from last week? I forget if this is version 1 we're listening to. Yeah, melody is great. The mix does feel, stereo feels strange, which is some piano on the left and claps on the left. The voice is moving a bit. I like that bass line. And those reverse effects are cool. I'm giving it a little EQ on the bottom right here. Like +2 or something. going back to mono. Like this whole track could be totally mono and it would still sound good from the melody. And yeah. Okay, the claps are louder than the snare, so that snare drum rush could come up a little bit, claps down just a little bit. .5 kilohertz, watch out. Okay, going back to stereo. There's nice reverbs in there. I can hear the space around it. And in this case, I would keep the piano melody to the right, but the body and the chords center a little bit and have a little bit drier. So the melody has a little more of like a spacey reverb and the chords are more like they come in and then stop, you know? Yeah, this is gonna be nice and epic at the ending. It's like a slow build that keeps going up. 5 minutes still feels fresh. That cymbal is a little harsh with a little notch EQ, and I think that should be centered too. Like your panning structure is very like divergent, like the two sides are like really far apart. Yeah, fix the piano closer to center, claps in center, bring up the snare rush. Yes, all those. And then the crash cymbal down a little bit, but I wouldn't do the volume of the crash down. I would just use EQ to lower like 3,000, 4,000 hertz with a pretty deep EQ cut, and that'll effectively lower the volume of that sound. And I want to play this Sebastian. That's going to give us a YouTube strike, though. I'm going to start closing tabs if we can avoid glitches that way. Get myself a little more RAM. Where was that window? Yeah, and the arrangement and the structure and the melody, I mean the chord progression and the melody and like the way the track flows is great. Vocals could come up a little bit. Okay, I agree with that. The vocal could come up. It's not too low right now, but it is like in the music, you know? And if it comes up louder, it'll be more like on top of the music. Did we get the voice back here? Alex, that's a good idea to get somebody on video for panning position help. That's cool. The voice is a synth instrument. It sounds like a subtle synth wave right here. That's cool. I like how you took that voice and did a loop or something. Maybe they're holding that note, but that could be louder right there. And I want to give you some props on that little filter sweep on the right at 340, that little like filter sweep opening up. Cool. Well, at this exact part, that vocal piece could be louder. Maybe the rest of the vocals don't have to be louder. And mainly, this is an interesting one because I don't think I've ever had a mix where the only big problem was pan position. Not like problem. I mean, it's not ruining the track, you know, but like there's like multiple things in the pan field that when you center them and move them differently, it's going to make a big noticeable effect. And now I'm looking for when the kick drum comes in full power, because I did notice at the beginning it felt too light and I wasn't sure if this was the real kick drum or not. So, and then right there. Okay, I guess that's the right time. Big down to 53. And I still have the bass EQ up. Let me go back to flat. Let's just try this. I'm gonna go mono and a little more bass EQ. That's like +3 at 60 hertz with a low shelf EQ. And now, in this setup, it feels like a playable finished track. Nice bottom, all the sounds are in their own frequency range, you know? So the space is all good, and then it goes through the chord progression and structure, so. That one synth got a little bit moofy at like, right? Those two bumps right there at 170, 150. It was like, whoa, 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 whoa. There. So possibly you might want to have a compression on that ARP synth, so when the filter goes down, the volume goes up in that little low mid band, and you can kind of control that area around 175, because that does give you that like move, the move. Scott, micro timing on the Don't Let Go, possibly. Okay, EQ flat. A low end on key. You know, you could do a little low shelf EQ boost or just raise the volume on the fader. And with the kick drum sound, those are pretty similar. So maybe put up a low shelf and then add like +2 dB at 60 hertz or 70 hertz and see how that sounds. And push the fader up 1 dB and then go too far and then bring it back and ask yourself, why did I do that? But that's a great track. I'm looking forward to that one. That's going to be really playable. It's nice and deep, nice feel. So let's move on to Tice Slackhouse, who is not here yet. Wait, who is here? Tim Laws, Ben Hunt, Randy Adams is here. As you know, I like to play the tracks from people who came to... Who are these guys? Who is this guy? I always have to be judicious about when I play DJ Waters, because that's like gonna be like a body wash, like cleansing, catharsis. So Randy Adams, here we go. Deep House. Thanks for getting this in right before noon. Move. Okay, EQ flat, stereo good. Here we go. Yeah, get that one out soon. That's going to be a good release. Ooh, that synth is coming up. All right. We want Waters. I like that hand percussion. This has a great feel, like the pulse. Good job with that so far. Okay, I'm bringing up the level a bit. Let me go back before that open hi-hat. I was just about to comment on the simplicity, like kick drum, one hand percussion loop, one hi-hat, and a clap. Kick, clap, hi-hat, hand percussion. It's so full with just 4 sounds. And then the open hi-hat comes in. So 5 sounds. Yeah, the kick is nice and hard, the sub is deep. Good combination in the low end. Little delay on there, I heard that. Randy, I don't know, this is sounding pretty good, man. And the main thing is the way the synth has that back and forth. Wow, whoa, 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 whoa. That like pulls everything else along with it in a really good way. We're gonna have to go back to the beginning and hear that synth. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes, opening that up. Exactly. Ooh, now it goes back down. Freaking deep. Not everybody understands house music. I could hear one of those house vocals on here. It's a spiritual body thing, a soul thing. Yeah, the chords were filtered. Yeah. Oh, Morton, I just missed your comment. Okay, maybe layer a closed hi-hat with the kick at the intro. Maybe. Let's go back and play that again in a minute. Oh, wait. It just dropped super deep. What changed right here to make it go super deep like that? The opening synth got muted. And there's a different little synth in there. Get a vocal, cool. Okay, I want to make a comment here, and got a lot of little quick things to mention. So Pivclit high cut the bass with a higher slope so it makes more room for the synths in the mid-range. Okay, so the bass line you're saying has too much high frequency in the bass line. You want to get that down lower and then have the synths fill up more of the mids. All right. Okay, Matt Schultz, transition was unexpected. Right here around 3.5 minutes, Randy, I like it that the intro synth dropped out because it made the whole track just drop down like woof, like really deep. But the new synth that came in was too soon. So I would extend this part. I really want to hear where this goes, but like I would need like at least 8 bars where the first synth drops out and we just have 8 bars of the bass line and the kick drum and the beats. And those sounds are enough. It's really awesome, nice and deep. And then after 8, then bring in the next synth, because the way we changed from one synth to the second was a little too soon. Let's just go through that again. Right here. And then the original synth comes back too soon. Okay, the sound here, there's a scratchy high sound that goes wah, 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 that's on top that's kind of non-pitched, which is great. So at this part, at 3:30, when the first synth drops out, I would do bass line for 8 bars with that high synth thing going crank, 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 and nothing else, right? And then bring in the other synth. See if I can imagine that happening right here. Yeah. Wah, wah. With the reverb on that synth on top is super cool. And the one that's like, that's too soon. And then the original synth comes back too soon. So at 3:45, like when the original synth comes back in, it's good. Like the track is awesome, the groove is good. So I think in this middle part, that second synth that's going like, I think that doesn't belong in this middle because we hear it and expect it to continue, and it doesn't continue. And it's also kind of clashing at the moment when the original synth and the new synth come in. So let's see if we delete that second synth. Just use that later, maybe. Yeah, not here. This would be great with only the bass line and the top thing. Kick drum gap is good. And then the synth comes back. Good, yeah. So the simplest fix is take that second synth and just don't have it in that section, I think. And the vocal is good when it comes in too. So everything is flowing from here on. Yeah. Now here, at 4 minutes and 30, is where I would bring in that little second synth thing from the 3.5 minute part. Yeah, basically just keep it as, it's so simple and beautiful from the whole beginning. Just keep that simplicity. The vocal is the main new character after the 3.5 minutes, and that's all you need. And we got that little wood block sound that came in. I noticed that earlier. That's a good sound. This is it right here. Bass line, that scratchy sound, and the beat. Exactly, with no synths. Yeah. So Randy, let me know if you understand at least my comments. I know people are popping in a lot of ideas about the transitions. Ooh, giving us the ingredients. Come in with the mix. I'm giving you claps for that reverb. So specifically, just mute that one sound. Because that one little new synth happens only in the middle and doesn't happen anymore. So basically, just take that out of the track. It'll make it better. Was not really happy with the section either. Gotcha, Steve. Yeah, because, so this little part at 343 right here, the sounds that I was thinking of are like these. Just like this, except without the vocal, you know? It's perfect. A deep bass line, a little bit of high frequency stuff, and a good reverb. So that is super cool, and that's going to be basically done. Just take out that one sound, and maybe if you wanted to, it's only 6 minutes, and it could be longer, so you could, at 3:30, you could extend it 8 bars longer and just have like a longer kind of transition there, because you have some time for the track. It's not like a 9-minute jam. But I like it, and it's cool, and it's totally in with the Randy Adams style. So it's going to be part of a nice set. Now, Mr. Melvis is traveling this weekend, so he's not watching live, so we can say whatever we want. And he made a cool track called Dreamy Ambient a couple weeks ago or months ago. I don't remember exactly. And we were all like, oh my gosh, what would that sound like with beats? So Scott picked it up, Canada, picked this up, made a remix. And I wanted to play the reference track, but we're going to get a copyright strike on the Tony Allen drums, so we'll have to just see what happens here. Beautiful vocals. When the vocals came in, the piano I thought was good at first, but when the vocals came in, I started to feel the piano was a little on top of the vocals, so maybe the piano could be duller. Like you could EQ out some of the high part of the piano and let the voice be the brightness of that upper mid-range or middle mid-range. There's Mr. Melvis. And this is another place where the piano frequencies should be, the priority should be like vocal first, guitar second, and like sacrifice the piano mid-range to put the other two instruments up in the mids. And I want to talk about the drum beats, so let me interrupt myself and go back. There's one snare drum hit that's kind of staticky and loud. That one. That one, too. It's that upbeat. That one. Fuck, I missed it. It's a little bit louder than the others. Do you see which one I'm saying? It when at the intro it sounded okay, but when the rest of the track was full, that upbeat snare sounds louder than the other ones. I wonder if you could have more spaces of snare drum shuffle with a little subtle like. You know how like when Tony Allen's playing, there's all those little ghost notes that are constantly going, like little 16th notes, like little to make it like the rhythm is less of like a breakbeat and more of like a continuous snare tap going on. Okay, let's see how we flow through here. I like what that bass line's doing too. Lush. Yeah, like a more brushy kind of snare. I think you understand what I mean, yeah. Like that continuous sort of like. The shaker is good. The egg shaker keeps it like rolling. Hey Morton, have a great night. Let us know how it goes. I like how the bass has that buzz on the top of it too. Effects. Let me go on EQ the mid-range of the piano right here. I'm boosting around 1,000. So I would go to the piano and take out that right in the middle of the mid, somewhere from 900 to 1,500. Take the piano down so the voice can sit right there and be big in that middle, and the lead guitar too. Totally fluid. How are you guys feeling with the bass line? I'm thinking the low end pressure is not as consistent. I hear a couple kick drums and a couple of times the bass line is like as loud as the kick. And I would like the low end to be overall tighter. So you know what I always say, group your kick drum and your sub bass together and have that compressed as one group. So it's a very clear rhythm of like where the kicks and the sub are fitting together. Was that a Melvis piano stem, or is that you on piano, by the way? It sounds great. I like that ending. Yeah, that's great, man. That's a really smooth track. So in the beginning, this is kick drum by itself, right? Okay, it feels like there's a velocity thing with the kick drum where not every kick is the same, which is great by itself because it feels like boom, 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 like that heartbeat thing. And I get the kick drum pattern in the beginning, but later on when there's a lot of a dense arrangement, it feels like only the loud kicks are coming through and the softer ones are getting dropped. So that's a situation where clearly the quieter kick drums need to come up, louder ones need to get tamed down together, and the bass needs to get packaged in there, which is sort of like saying you're sacrificing a bit of the kick drum accents to go with more like discernible rhythm. And that's going to be a judgment call, because if you're going to put this towards like a jazzy electronic record, you would have the kicks mixed softer and have the drums more like an acoustic live drummer. Or if you want this to be like a totally electronic chill out jam, you want the kick drums to be like consistent and like predictable, because it's not a human drummer, it's a drum machine. So if you want to go crazy with it, what you could do is have the velocity dynamics on the opening of the kick drum to express that like boom, 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 which is cool because that's a good part of the pulse of the track. And later on, when there's the sub bass and everything, then go with a constant velocity kick and make the kick and the sub function to carry that same boom, 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 boom. Try that if you don't mind doing extra homework. Other than that, super great. And Mr. Melvis, when you watch this, nice job. I'm really glad your layers function with other people, because you never really know what's going to happen when you split apart a track into stems, take them to another whole rework, and see if, was that a good idea or not. But it seems like this is really working. Especially right here, it's just up like... John, I think you meant the beat pattern, the bear pattern, the beat pattern. Or Scott, you know what else you could do if you wanted to go farther with it is look into some Afrobeat beat loop samples where you could have a whole 2-bar loop of the whole entire drum kit with all the natural reverb and snare, ghost notes and kicks and everything, and maybe play around with layering that in the intro to like give some of those kind of like shuffle signals, like something like that. But it's basically, you got the heart of the track structured and put together, and it's definitely going to work. So I guess the percussion is a thing to work on, and EQing the piano, Afrobeat, yes. Because at the beginning, the piano is by itself. It's like, okay, it's a little mid-rangey. I'm expecting a bass line later. The piano is like the main mid-range sound, right? So when we get the lead guitar is sort of competing with the piano frequencies and the vocal and the strings. So that's 4 instruments that are all going to be needing space in the upper mids. And I would totally sacrifice the piano, make the piano overall duller throughout the whole track, so that when the other instruments come in, it just feels like they're big and loud and clear, and you don't notice that the piano lost anything. It is a mid-range. It's always a question of who's the biggest in the mid-range. It's not easy to layer up a whole bunch of instruments in the mids. That real estate shrinks down. You get to like doing like bandpass filters on each instrument. Like, well, how long is that in? Maybe we just cut that out a little bit. Crazy. Matt Schultz, very little velocity, a little on the kick drum, usually very little to accent the first one, have a little but subtle movement, almost inaudible, more of a feel. And you know what? With a kick drum, to make accents, sometimes it can be fun to keep the bottom end the same velocity and change, like have your MIDI note velocity change your filter frequency on the top rather than change the volume of the drum hit. So that means as you press harder and softer on the drum pad, The bottom stays the same, but the click gets brighter and softer. So a hard one will be like click, click, click. And a softer one, you could hit the drum pad lightly. You still get a loud kick drum, but it's more muffled. So you map MIDI velocity to low pass filter frequency and have it get harder and softer. That could solve your problem of needing to give accents and not lose the low end power later on in the track. Because when we lose low end power, DJ Waters gets sad. All right. And by the way, Ian, I saw you've got the Infinity track I think is set for release. We didn't really talk about that last time, but please let us know where are the links and what we can do to help promote. And let's get going with making a list of the video and the track notes and the mini 10-word bio or 100-word bio. I'm super happy with how our promo group is working, where we're starting to share coordinated release promotions and give all the tracks more promo and more push. I think that's going to be fun. So again, when anybody has something coming out, put together a square photo, a square video, a 30-second video, a 60-second video, not longer than 60 seconds, an audio clip of high-quality audio that shows the heart of the track, a couple words about the track, a couple words about the producer, record label name, release date, BPM if you want, genre if you want, and apparently we only get 30 Instagram hashtags right now, so 30 hashtags max for genre, style, and contacting other people who listen to that kind of music. And then we can all easily grab those parts and slap them together and post them on our own Instagrams, and we can take your Facebook feed posts and spread those to get more eyeballs on the music. Here we go. EQ back to flat. Doosh.
Came to dance, put your hands in the air.
Oh, this is Pitbull.
If you came to drink, put your drinks in the air. And if you came to smoke, put your joints in the air. And if you came to
Oh, hey Jasper. Tenka's here.
all the women love it when you give them that.
That's that bass line.
Like that.
John, put him in the new releases channel, yeah, and make a new thread. Love those breaks. Yeah.
All the women love it when you give them that. She like that.
You are such a wise ass.
She love that.
I could just feel the
When I give her that.
sense of humor coming out of this track.
I met her in the club, feeling her up.
I'm a little curious about the brightness in the slam section, so I'm going to go back and review that.
Qué clase loca, enfermota, tremenda mamazota, diablita con cara de angelita, con las tetas en el aire en la discoteca y el culo en el piso en cuatro huepas. Le gusta los tragos, le gusta pepa, siempre mojado, nunca seca, le encanta el party. Esa.
This is cool. I can feel that low end bass line thing. Vocals are up in the mids. That's awesome. Yeah. Those breaks are great.
She love that.
Well played.
When I give her that. I met her in the club, feeling her up, said she wanna fuck.
Wow. The high frequency triplets.
What up, playback? Pitbull, the most winning. Mr. 305. I love it when you give them that.
Okay, let me roll it back. What do you all think about the high frequencies? I'm going to EQ a bit. Up here. Some of those peeps in the distortion is a little bright. So maybe like in the mastering phase, watch out for the 4,000, 3,000 hertz. Yeah, total carnage. And I especially like, just to make sure you can hear me, the high frequencies have a triplet right here that I can totally hear, which is, it's hard to make specific small rhythms happen when they're fast and it's distorted, but it's going, which is super cool. Right there.
What up, playback? Pitbull, the most winning. Mr. 305. I love it when you give them
Did he say Pitbull go swimming? Go swimming!
She like that. When I give her that.
All right, let's see what happens to Pitbull next.
When I give her that. I met her in the club, feeling her love, said she wanna fuck.
That's a little scratchy.
Next
So,
thing you
a
know,
little
we
bit too
out on the
much.
floor and she's
Yeah, right here. Those kick drums are so hard, man. Ooh, what was that? Get ready to rewind. These growls? Wow, wow. Nice.
the most winning.
Oh my god.
I am Chino. Chino. What up, playback? Pitbull, the most winning. Mr. 305.
Coming back, get ready. Those growls.
I am Chino. Chino. What up, playback? Pitbull.
And there was one section with a super low growl kick that was like whoa, whoa, whoa at 45. I could hear that more. Not that. This one.
What up, playback?
At the very end, bump, bump, bump. And I just noticed, you guys don't know this, but my broadcast VU meters are right on top of the square graphic on SoundCloud, so I don't have to look at it. And I looked over at my playback, and I was like, huh, parental advisory, explicit content over there. All right. Ian Waters, so, go swimming. I think this is, the 3,000 hertz scratchiness is the only thing that really struck me as needing to change in the mix. Everything else is awesome. It's banging, it's fast, it's hard. Especially the kicks are so solid in the middle. Oh, cool, you uploaded the spare sounds in Discord. And overall, I love the sense of humor coming through your music where it's just like, la la la, pop vocal. The breaks are good, the gaps. And one thing I liked was the backup vocals going ooh ooh ooh. Here, ooh ooh ooh. If you have that separate, I think that could be louder. Ooh ooh ooh. And also this build up. Let's go through that one more time. The stereo build-up rush thing is really cool. Yeah. And was there something last time where the reverb stopped and then... I don't remember, but it sounded really natural this time. So, happy birthday, Piv. You can now master this. Yeah. It's so solid. And one more detail I loved right here. Great sound design, A+ on the sound design. Song structure, definite A+, turning Pitbull into hardcore. And the mix, just watch those upper mids. For anybody who's watching this who might not know why we're talking about that or what it means, people's ears, all humans, are really sensitive in the frequency range from like 2,500 to 5,000. That's 2,000, and it's already ear piercing. So what happens at that sound? A fire truck, a smoke alarm, a whistle in sports, beep, or like people screaming or babies crying. All those sounds that put you on edge, that make your body freak out, like with like that panic, danger kind of sound. Those are in the frequency range that our ears are really sensitive to. Biologically, that means you can hear them from far away. So you know when people are getting trampled far away. And you don't want your music to hit too many of those frequencies, because when people are listening, even if they love the song, that one cymbal crash or that one thing that hits that frequency range can make you like, you physiologically freak out, even when you like the track. So that's why I'm always thinking about 3.5K. Make sure that's nice and buttery so that people don't get totally like wrecked. And then we can get back to this. More spinning! And let's check the ending. You almost cut off the reverb at the end. I'm not sure. You might have to let that slide. Okay. I swear that music gets me every time to such a good place. Buttery French core. Butter your bacon. Okay, Tice Slackhouse with a collaboration with Jürgen, You're the Vibe. I think this is still a collab. Let's see where we're at. EQ back to flat. Whoa, whoa, whoa. There we go. Back to the ambient chill out music. I like this pulse. Oh my god, entirely sirens? I would rather listen to huskies howling at each other. Let me check the post notes on this one. Okay, updates. Cut the bass below 100. Good, good. Yeah, that hollow bass line better now. Scott, I like your comments on that if you're still watching. 205. Let's hear what happens with the pads. Breakdown. Great notes. Thank you for those. I like specific notes on the updates so we know exactly what got changed. Because a lot of times the updates make it so much better you can't remember what was wrong before. That totally worked. And now the bass is coming clear. So far, the only problem I think is that I would post this as a deep house in the house channel for deep house, not the techno channel, but whatever. Oh, Pivclit, happy birthday. Thanks for coming in to join with us today. Happy birthday to you. You live in the zoo. You look like a monkey and you smell like one too. That's our little kid song. Yeah, have a great evening. I hope it's a legendary, memorable birthday. And thanks for everything you're doing for the group with mastering and Thorium and Den and sharing people's tracks and all that. We really appreciate having you here. So Tice, this sounds amazing. This mix sounds really good. I would totally play this with a Randy Adams track in a set. That spacey lead is so like kind of comes and goes. Great synth. I'm gonna go up a little bit with the low end EQ. Which is kind of a mastering thing. It's not, there's no problem with the low end, but those synths are so big and bright, I just started feeling like I want the kick drum like bumpier, like bigger. Yeah, this is the vibe. Yeah, you're dropping that chunk. Chunk, chunk. Chunk, chunk. Feeling it on bottom. Really nice reverbs, and that bubbling synth is still in the middle. It's a very harmonically glued together track. Nice filter sweeps. Slow. Sounds like a great show. 90s spacey house with videos of pictures of space and planets. Like, I would watch that. This is great. All I got for this one is in the mastering phase, I would do a little bit of mid-range compression so that those synth spikes are contained a bit more. And once that's leveled, raise the low end relative to the mids so that the bass is like really big. Because once you cleaned up the low mid area, now we can turn up the whole volume of the low bass line or bass part of the track. Get that kick just like oof, oof, like coming at you. That's about it. And if you want to take care of any of that before the mastering phase, what I would do is take all the synths, group them into one stereo group, and do a little bit of glue compressor on there, and maybe like a soft clipper or something like that, so that they're loud. Don't change the synth volumes, but when they get to the synth group, have a little bit of like dynamics control on the synths as a whole, and then you can take your low end instruments, put them up a bit. And I did a low shelf boost at 60 Hertz with about 2 or 3 dB, just to get a little more bump on the bottom. Coming in for a landing. Got the moon lander coming back from from another trip to the planets, if you know what I mean, allegedly. So I've been told. totally great. And it still has that bubbling. Melodic techno on Going to Space. I think we need to organize a field trip for a Mix a Texture festival. Hey, Caesar's here. Nice, all the way out to the ending. I'm gonna replay. Alex, did you write Hi Caesar or Hail Caesar? Hail Caesar. This little layer, that little bubbling synth, is so cool because it gives you that kind of like, I don't know, bubbling is the word for it. It's just like something kind of happening the whole time. And it keeps going. So here's something I like to do. If you're making a track and you're not sure how many layers are too many or what's enough, or if you need to like mute stuff or whatever, I like to do the minute by minute review. This is an 8-minute jam, so we're not going to listen to another 8 minutes, but I'm going to skip through, and around every minute, we're going to ask the question, what synths are in? What do we hear? Like, what's the dominant one that's in front? And then how many are in the background that are still like active? You know, it's a fun exercise to see how your texture is working. So right now there's that one background synth. Now they got louder and we got the bass. And then the breakdown. Oh, yeah. So the opening synth is gone. The little bubbling one is gone. That's important too, because sometimes if you keep the intro sound going too long, it can make the track feel like it never drops. And just muting that one opening sound can be like, oh, now we're like deep in it. That's a good sound. Cool, let's skip out. Hey, Tim's here, good. I think we still have your track to play, Tim, so you're right on time. Now, this bass line is my favorite one because it has the gap in it. You know, I think that clap might be a little bit too loud compared to the hi-hat. The clap is okay in the mix, but the hi-hat's a little down. So I might do a slight thing of like hi-hat up a little bit, clap down a little bit. Just a subtle percussion check. So now we've got the lead synth that's like the spacey lead that everybody loves, and that bubbling bass line, and some big reverbs that almost count as atmosphere. And the opening synth is back. Where did the opening synth come back in? Not here. Right here. About 3:45, this opening synth. 3:45, I think that came back. It's really interesting. It's hard to even hear it, but it's there and it's giving it that middle bubbling kind of atmosphere that in a subtle way keeps the whole track like flowing. Now you can tell. Wow, wow. Okay, that lead is amazing. The reverbs, the effects, the synth, the organ. This is a really nice blend of multiple instruments in the mid-range where there's that synergy where they come together and it feels like one big sound, not like 5 different separate ones. Scott, release this. Yeah. This part is especially good too. Wow, 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 wow. And just for reference, I'm going to take my bass EQ back down. Back to flat. That was subtle. All right, cool. definitely giving some claps. That one is 99% done. A couple tiny mix tweaks, and it'll be ready to go. Just for reference, let's jump back over to Learning Curve and compare kick drums, because we had that vibe of the last kick drum, which is a similar kind of thing. And different genre, but clearly the bass line is pretty loud and the kick drum is not a huge thump. So Alex, I think you could take your bass line down and have your kick drum a bunch bigger. Because the more I turn up the EQ, we get dub. Whoa, whoa, whoa. So I wanted to do a reference mix after hearing, after hearing this. You feel that it's like all kick, like oof. And that's not a totally fair comparison because this Lunar Walk does not have a consistent bass line. The bass line is like doo 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 doo. So it's only kick by itself. So on your track, when there's a solid bass line all the time, I think you could take the bass line down a little bit and do the side chaining a little harder, because people are going to know the bass line's there and you're kind of, it's like a steady floor, and then the kick can be like coming through it. All right, good. I think we got a little bit of Temple 01 coming back up here. And I'm going to play this and then check the notes on updates to see what got changed. Speaking of kick drums. Stop clicking. Okay, so the snare drum came down and the kick drum tail we were talking about. And the hi-hat came down. This feels good. Bottom feels nice and clean. And the bass line's really like... Nice bass line. Got me in the groove. Tim, this is a great update. This sounds really good. Those bass sounds. I'm thinking this one's gonna be done. It's so much better with those snares cut out of here. Is that where they were? Yeah, low end sounds tight. Okay, right there is exactly that 3000 I was talking about earlier. Could be a mastering thing to just make sure that doesn't overload at that frequency. Here we go. Now it's building up. Now the snare works because we haven't heard it for a while. Ah ha ha, the pulse drop. Nice. Mix is clean and crisp and clear. This is almost like a two-step garage kind of track. Like almost in that two-step bass house. You really did a good job with the bass layers. All that stuff. Where's Oliver today? Yeah, vocal is nice. It's kind of in the music. It's not like a lead vocal. It's like inside, which is right where it needs to be. It has that little melody. Oh, what was that? It's almost like a vinyl record scratch right here. DJ Water is, hey, put together a good set. Let me know about what we can help you promote for your next release so we can get that going in the network. And as always, don't slow down. Definitely good right here. I think the only thing I can possibly feel is that there's a little place where the high frequencies might. And the way I would handle this is in the mastering, give this to the mastering person and say, hey, take a look at 3,000, 4,000 hertz. Make sure it's not too squiggly in that 4 minutes where it's like... freaking solid. Chopping beats. Still interesting. Yeah, I can hear you've been putting in the details for the ear candy and everything in here. That's good. Yeah, now we can strip it down a little bit, get to the ending with the... Perfect. Cut out some of the high frequency stuff. Let it roll with the beats for the outro. Definitely finished. Nice. Tim, good job. And look at that version, edit 12. We all know what that's like, edit 29.3, master version 2. Scott Burke, gotta run. Have a great weekend. Thanks for hanging out. Nice work with the Melvis mix. And Tim Laws, that's ready for, get that mastered, put that out, because that's going to be done. And I think that's it, except for Ben Hunt, version 3. Let me EQ flat, stereo. Going to check the mix notes and see what we got. Boom, boom, yeah, man. Okay, drop the bass a little around 300, 600, a little more kick, sidechain for the rhythms, some vocal snippets. Oh, we were talking about if there was more of a verse or more lyrics in the vocal, but all right, so we're looking for a 3-minute. Cool. Nice stereo field. 130. I'm feeling like this one's going to be done too, from what I hear so far. Is Alex B, are you still here? This might be a good example to reference compared to Learning Curve, because this track has a steady sub. It's pretty low, like subliminal, you know, and the kick is big. And together they hold that low energy. So far, so good, Ben. Yeah. Nice effects, nice layers. Nice mini breakdown with a transition and a drum break. One more time. Drop out the kick drum, do a sweep, and put a drum break. Just cut out the kick drum, add a sweep, and put in a little extra drum break, and you get a nice dynamic transition. Keep the track feeling fresh. Double kick drums, a little ear candy in there. I like what the hi-hats are doing too. Ooh, Ben Spencer, that's a nice compliment. A little bit like Professional Widow by Tori Amos. Good, nice and empty right here. Good, yeah, the vocals. Yeah, that works. Do that one more time. Okay, all you need to do. The next vocal sample, we need one more time. That one, down, down, down. Bring that in right before the drop. Two. Right here. Down, 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 down. And then maybe not the Share Your Love With Me. Would that make sense? Here. Down, 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 down. I would do the down, down, down before the drop and not the Share Your Love With Me on the drop. And then around here, you get the Share Your Love With Me again. Like coming up around here, Share Your Love With Me. Share Your Love With Me. Yeah, take that Share Your Love With Me from here, from the drop, move it out to 357. Repeat the down, down, down right before the kick drum drop at that 337. And then you just squeeze a little more juice out of the available vocal parts. This is great. That part is great. Yep. .439, I cut the snare. Let it ride out without the snare. And then from here, just have only the kick drum. Personally, I mean, it's not wrong to have the snare in at the end like this. But for me, like 439. Now just bass line and kick. It's a little subtle thing to mute, but just kind of like one layer more of development on the ending. So when you're mixing in something else. I like that echo tail. And ending with a vocal is really nice. So cool, that's great. The low end is totally in place. The mix edits are great. Maybe a tiny change with the placement of those two vocal samples. Cut the snare at the end. Send it off for mastering and let us help you promote it. And with that, it's time for me to take us on out. I want to play through this Mindbender playlist one more time because these are so creative and interesting. What this is he's resurrecting some recordings from 90s tracks that he made with a sampler and turntables and a analog mixing board and a cassette deck. And it has that old, like, it sounds like this. So while I'm talking over this stuff, let me point you all to a couple places where you can find some support for your tracks. Most of the people producing now know all this stuff, but anybody who's still watching at the end of this episode, you can go to courses.mixatexture.com and find out some places to get help with sound design, song structure, and mixing. So I teach with a special format of lessons that are built inside Ableton Live, meaning you open up the program, you get a live pack, right? You download it, open it up, there's audio instructions inside, there's examples with automation showing you the knobs move, and you can hear what happens, and then you get to grab the controls and do activities and learn by doing it inside Live, which is the best way to learn anything because you learn by doing it, and you get to play with the sounds. They're called session lessons, and they make you make music. So start at the beginning, right here, Intro to Session Lessons. It's free, no credit card required. Click in, sign up, you'll get an email, but you can enter right away and download this live pack and see what I'm talking about with hands-on lessons where you learn by doing it, which is super fun. Then when you want to go deeper, you can get into basic mixing, specifically for house and techno, which means you're going to learn about gain staging for your kick drum to make it sound big like we're talking about all day long. There's a great course on how to EQ your tracks. Now, all day when we're talking about the frequency range and these numbers in hertz, and we talk about the mids at 300 or the mids at 3000 or the bass at 50, you will learn in this course what those numbers mean, what are the words for muddy or thumpy or crisp or bright, and how to put those in your tracks when you're EQing so you make your tracks snap into focus with all the sounds big and clear and none of that problem frequency overlaps that we have. That might be enough for now. We're going to talk more about sound design later on in the spring. This is a course with Operator where you learn how to generate your own sounds from scratch, and Escape the 8-bar loop where we get into song structure and why you want to cut out the hi-hats and the breakdown and how you make your drops hit hard by possibly muting some layers. And like on the last track when I was saying, hey, maybe cut the snare drum at the last outro, those are all things you can do to take your loops and develop them over time to make a track that stays interesting from start to finish and has a climax in the middle and drop some beats that people can enjoy. So they want to play it again and again and again and again and share it with their friends. So that's what it's all about. Take a look at courses.mixatexture.com. And if you really like what we're doing, hop into patreon.com/mixatexture. You can sign up to support for $3 a month just to say that you love our live streams and broadcasts. Or if you are producing tracks every week, making updates, and you're ready to release them and get them published, but you need a little critique before that happens, sign up for the Track Feedback Crew, $25 a month for one-on-one reviews in these live streams. This is how you get your tracks reviewed live, and we will take you from 95% up to 100% done, so you know your track is going to sound good on every different sound system in every different studio for every different person listening. We do the comparative mix. You saw what we do. That's what it's all about. That's how you get it. So thanks for watching, everybody. Happy weekend. Happy birthday to Piv Clit. And I'm super proud of everybody who's putting in the work to update their tracks and take care of the tiny details so that we can all be happy with the releases.
Okay, now what's your name?
How many times I must tell
Morton, these tracks are so good.
fabulous DJ.
All right, that's gonna do it for this episode this week. I'm gonna go eat some donuts with my mama. I am really. And that's it. So see you in Discord and check you back next Wednesday for more track feedback. Thanks for watching, everybody. See you later.